Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another BYOP video. So what I do in this video, build your own palette, and I pledged at the beginning of the year to do a little bit more to get a bit more use out of my single eyeshadows, and this was the way to do it. Like once a month, make a palette, use it, and make a few color stories. You can find in the playlist for the BYOP of this year, you can find a Valentine's Day red and like berry purples. You can find a pastel palette for spring and a few more. So don't hesitate, go take a look. This is something different than my duping the vibes videos, but it just lets me use more my single eyeshadows. The theme for this video is green and pink. It's not groundbreaking, but I've been thinking about this palette for, I don't know, already in March, and then one thing and the other, I just did other videos and I never got really into putting these colors together. And then I reorganized all my single eyeshadows, and that was already so much single eyeshadow fatigue that I said, I need a break. But now we're here, now it's time. I felt like spring is here, my view is nice and green, all the trees are getting leaves, so it was time to put it together. Just yesterday, Colourpop announced their spring launch, among which there's one palette called Solstice something that has pretty much a peach pink and green theme, which I think was comical, but also, I don't know, it's very cute. I really like that collection, and what it influenced me for this is to actually put in a touch more warmth to the palette. So it's not duping the vibes of the Colourpop, it's just we had the same inspiration, and that gave me a little bit of a push towards adding one or two extra shades that I hadn't planned on. In this video, I'm gonna show you the palette, the shades, the swatches, and how to create this eye look. The tutorial will be at the end of the video. But let's start by showing you the palette, right? I mean, that's what we're here for. This is the palette, and contrary to my usual, I kept it actually quite edited and small, and that was also probably the influence of the Colourpop. Colourpop made 9-pan palettes, and I needed more. I always need more. 9 is always a little bit little. I put it in this beautiful Nabla Feather Edition Liberty palette. I think they're called Liberty 12s, and it fits usually 12 Nabla eyeshadows, which are this size right here. And it has a beautiful reflective edge that will actually throw you off. I didn't think about it before, but I loved the pairing of the pink and the rose gold with this palette. So here you see how the palette is mainly pink with some terracotta and then some greens. I didn't want to go very heavy on green because I tend to do that. I wear a ton of greens and I love green. I did a whole month of green in 2019, only green content. You can go see that if you're interested in that. But here I wanted to actually make it a spring palette that I would wear and be happy and inspired to wear in this season. And these are the eyeshadows. Some of my favorites brands in there. We have Colourpop, we have Nabla Cosmetics, we have Lethal Cosmetics, and Clionadh up here with one of their multi-clones, and Makeup Geek. These two Makeup Geek shadows have been gifted to me for disclosure purposes, but yeah, they're just the perfect tones for this palette. Let's get swatching, shall we? I will need to take off my Fitbit, but I have been toying with the idea of, I'm gonna go back at doing like this swatches where you don't see me, but I feel like talking to you in the camera with the person is nicer. So you're gonna get hand swatches, but I'm gonna try to make it, I don't know, visible. Starting with the first shade, this is Vivacious by Colourpop. This might have been a limited edition eyeshadow from a long time ago, and the reason why I'm still putting it in every single of my favorite palettes and dupes and stuff like that, it's because it is a beautiful reflective neutral tone, you can say, but it has this hint of pink, and it has a texture that is reflective and textured. It's not a foiled eyeshadow. You'll see the difference with the Makeup Geek foil effect, but it has a bit of texture, and I really, really love that. It's really unique and a special eyeshadow for me. Then comes the pink matte per definition for me, and that is Say I Do by Colourpop, and I think I've seen it still in the in their store. How to say, I know that Colourpop now is closed, but you can still make orders and they will just fulfill them when the stay-at-home rule has been lifted. That is Flower Boy. It's the perfect transition shade for any pink look, and just these two shades together, one in the crease, one on the lid, you're good to go. Then I wanted, since it's me, something a little bit deeper and shimmery, and something a little bit elegant. And this is Nabla Cosmetics Snowberry. I wanted to say snowflake, not snowflake, snowberry. And Nabla Cosmetics was, at some point in their history, a brand that wanted to cater to very sophisticated, glamorous looks. So their shimmers were never really that punchy. And if you remember their first highlighters, the ones in the round pans, were always very like subdued. And I feel like this is also from that kind of mindset. And it is a nice warm toned middle rose color. I really like it. I don't use it very often, and I actually got it secondhand from a friend who wasn't using it either. But I think for this palette it is perfect. Then we go into a column of all mattes. I needed a peachy transition. This is Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek. It is the peachy transition, and it's very similar to my skin tone, but it's perfect, and it gives a little bit more warmth to the look, and I think it pairs very, very nicely with all the pinks and the greens. It just, overall, it pairs nicely with everything. Then we go into a bit more punchy shades, and this is Remission by Lethal Cosmetics. You've heard me talk about this in my pastel palette BYOP that I did, and Lethal Cosmetics makes my favorite pastel eyeshadows. They're very, very nice, and this one is no difference. It's a, corally pink, but it's beautiful and bright, and it's what I'm wearing in the crease today. Then to push a little bit more berry and pink, if I want to go like real pink, I wanted something a little bit darker, and this is Terminus by Lethal Cosmetics, and it does remind me of a flower or something that would go together with a green. So here it is. It's a little bit cooler toned, and swatching on my bone is not the best. Like, I have a very, very bony wrist right there, but I think you get the gist and you see the color. And these were the 3 mattes in the second column. Then I sneaked in a warm shimmer. I like it. It's just what I like. This is 20 something by Colourpop. It is a bit of a duochrome, actually. Let me see that I'm swatching it in the right place. It's not an orange. It's not a gold. It's a bit of a like a peach. I don't know, what would you call this? An amber shade. An amber shade. Yes. So I feel like it just fits. It flows with this. You can wear it with these mattes, or especially with Peach Smoothie. Those two together go very well. But it pairs well with Snowberry as well. And I don't know, I liked it. So that is a little bit of a sneaky bit. And here comes the part that I was inspired by Colourpop's latest, is to add Imperial by Colourpop. I don't think it's in that palette. It's more like the color idea. And it's a beautiful matte terracotta orangey shade. There we go. It's a mid-toned transition shade, and that brings all the warmth into this. And I didn't want a lot of warm tones, but it's just a look in itself, these two. And I think it goes also well with Snowberry, for example, and with the green in the crease like I have done now. And then for depth, that is a neutral depth, I decided to use Facet by Colourpop, and that is because it has a little bit of a rose undertone. Like it's not a straight up brown, and it's not very warm toned, so that was the idea for that. And I wanted something that I could use all of these and to intensify the look, because then we move on to the actual greens. And one of my favorite ways of wearing green is to wear a neutral in the crease and the green on the outer corner, like I'm wearing today. And that is how I set up this palette, instead of the other way around. Like I wouldn't put many different tones of green mattes and then only pink shimmers. I like to wear it the other way around. Let's start with the special shade for this palette, which is Sunbeam by Clionadh Cosmetics. This is one of their glitter multi-chromes, and it's what I'm wearing on my lid right now. And you guys, it's like, there is no words. If you look at it horizontally, it's pink, but straight on, it's like this green shade. I hope you see it somehow, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and one of the most understated glitter multichromes out there. It is a fine glitter, so it actually looks very smooth and there's minimal fallout. I really like it. And I actually had a different shade in here for this, but once I touched it, I'm like, no, Sunbeam has to be in here. Then a nice green shimmer, an easy one, something that you can wear with just neutrals in the crease, and this one has the outer corner or on the lid. This is Illuminati by Makeup Geek. It's one of their foiled from the rebrand, and it's a little bit of a warmer yellow toned foiled eyeshadow. There you go. It's right here, and it's one of my favorites of the rebrand. It's really pretty. It's similar to one that they had before, which is called, I can't remember from the top of my head, but you can check out my rebrand video because I swatched all of the new rebranded Makeup Geek eyeshadows versus the old round ones. I have a ton of old round ones, so I was very happy to receive these so that I can compare them, because that's the video I would have wanted to see. So now I made it. And then the final shade in this palette is Spilled Tea by Makeup Geek, which is a beautiful, beautiful mid-toned, or on the darker side of green, I guess. But it's not a blackened green, like it's still a green. You can see that it's green, and it's like the stem of a rose. It's what is supposed to be in a green palette. So that right there is my little green corner for this palette, but as you can see, it's actually quite neutral and wearable, I want to say, but with color. It's like I would wear on a daily basis. I love this type of looks, and yeah, that is that. I hope you like my choice of eyeshadows. I didn't go too pink. I have some pinks, but I didn't want to go that pink. It's not something I wear a lot of. And I actually was looking back when I did my haul in retrospect for March, and actually I was wearing a similar pink and green look at that time. So I remember that I was really into this combination last year in spring as well. So nothing really changes year to the next. It doesn't matter. What did matter is that in that haul, like this year, I've spent way less than last March, which is a good thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed the swatches. One more look. Ta-da! What do you think? Sound down in the comments down below. And now we are going to get into the tutorial for this eye look. I am starting off with Lethal Cosmetics Remission on a Zoeva Lux Soft Definer 227. These are my favorite brushes to do crease work with. And I'm just going to bring it out and intensify as I blend. These Lethal Cosmetics pastels are really, really good, and they're my favorites. and they're really nice because they don't get chalky, and you can like intensify them. Often with pastels, which what happens is that they just blend away and then you cannot add on top of it, whereas with these ones you really can. And I've actually done a look using this as a blush as well, and this was an idea from my friend Cynthia at Cynthia Iskilikil, or I think she's now Cynthia Steenkamp. She's also on YouTube. I'll leave her channel down below. But this is the pink that's gonna go into this look, and I think that's enough. Then the more tricky part is putting spilled tea from Makeup Geek into the crease and starting to blend it as well as give a shape. I want to mimic a graphic eyeliner, and you could also go in with a pencil first to sketch out the shape. But I like a little bit softer, more blended edges, and I'm always afraid with liners not to be able to, let's say, hide the line of the liners without going too dark. So I'm gonna just do it with the eyeshadow and a pencil brush. This is from the, I don't know, Amorphe collection that they had recently. And yeah, once the shape is there, I'm just gonna go in with the previous brush and like I'm barely touching it and just diffusing the edge. It's not gonna be a perfectly blown out smoky eye. That's not the idea this time. The idea is to have a smoked out pink crease and then a little bit of a sharper with nothing on my brush. You can always go in and blend the edges a little bit more. Now, the risk, which I always do, is just to go too far, right? When you bring the color up and you try to blend and you blend it more and it becomes more, as you can see, I'm going quite far out, but I don't mind that too much. I feel like it actually does well for my eyes. And I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I feel like it's not really even, but it's as with many eyeliner looks, it just blows out of proportion. Then I'm gonna do the base for my shimmer, and I'm gonna go in with Nabla Snowberry. This is a bit of an underrated eyeshadow, but I find that for an everyday, like more sophisticated look, it looks really pretty. I got it secondhand from someone who wasn't using it, and I just bought it. Friend of mine, who I know actually, and I like it because it's subdued and it's a typical Nabla old school eyeshadow, the ones that they used to make where their looks were always very like sophisticated, not too shimmery, not what they're doing now, of course, but I still like it. And this is my pink base for what I'm putting on top, and what I'm putting on top on the other side of my brush is Clionadh Cosmetics Sunbeam. Now, I wasn't gonna add any Clionadh Cosmetics because I know it's difficult to get, but oh my goodness, you guys, it's magic. And what I do is actually apply a first more precise layer with a brush, but to get that shine that you see on here, it's a finger. It's all finger work. That's what she said. And then just press it on. And I'm not adding glitter glue or anything because these shadows don't need it. Or Fix Plus, or I don't know. I find that I can just layer them on top and I'm not gonna have a lot of fallout during the day. I have fallout in application, so usually I will do my eyeshadow first. That's what I did on the other side actually, but so it is. And then for pencil, I'm going in with Dagger by Neve Cosmetics. As you know, Neve Cosmetics makes my favorite colorful liners. They're very blendable and beautiful. I can't speak and do this at the same time. And then with a little smudger brush, I'm gonna go and blend the edges because I don't want it to be a harsh line, but this intensified, you see that it brought extra depth to that eyeshadow. And of course you can put it underneath and do the reverse work, the reverse process, but there. So what I do is usually I put it on the outer corner and blend it out with first with just the brush, and then to set it I'll go in with the same eyeshadow, the green. Ooh, I had lipstick. I transferred my lipstick to my face. It's not good. Yeah, and I would set it with the eyeshadow. If, as it happened on the other side, while blending, the pencil comes off of the inner lash line on the waterline, you just apply it again. For the inner part, I am taking Remission again and just applying it right here to pull in that pink again. And I don't know why specifically pink and green are so spring, or like, I know why, it's flowers and their stems and their leaves, of course. But I've had this itch of making this palette for a while, and then Colourpop came out with it, so not that innovative now, but it was in my head longer. Also, I've seen a lot of great people on Instagram doing BYOPs like this. I am applying Sunbeam again on my inner corner just to intensify it a little bit with my favorite Nabla Lash Line Smudger from the White Rose collection. I don't think it's out anymore, but so it is. Then mascara, and that will be it. And here we are, mascara is on. Maybe I can dust off some of the fallout from the green. I'll still have some glitters here from the multi-chrome. But here is the finished look. Green and pink, wearable, for me at least, this is a very wearable look. I love it. I doused myself in blush as I usually do. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your spring palette would contain. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.